Sai Ram, I offer my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan. When we come to our relationship with Swami as Guru, as God, however we take it, divine parent, divine friend, the divine part is definitely there. And that is the part where we seek benefits from, we get rewards, we feel that in exchange for our love and devotion, we get security, we get peace, we get happiness. Though ideally that is not devotion, it all starts off like that, and Swami is fine. He says that in the beginning I give you what you seek, so that one day you will seek what I have come to give. So Swami knows about it and he is absolutely fine with it, that we start off asking him and use him as our fallback, use him as our support, as our security, as our wish fulfilling tree. But as we mature, in the beginning when we ask something from Swami, his answer is yes, he gives us. When God tells yes, he gives us what we want, and we are very happy. Most of us have had our introduction to Swami in this manner, through him saying yes to us, whether it's about a problem, whether it's about some desire, whatever it is. It starts with him telling yes. As we mature, as our devotion matures, Swami is also comfortable in telling us no. There are times when God tells us no, because at that time he gives us something better than what we want. But he also knows that we have grown in our maturity, and that's why he tells us no. Yes and no are definite answers. And though we might not get our desires fulfilled immediately, knowing definitely is an assurance in itself. Yes, he is going to give. No, he is not going to give. For us, human beings who do a lot of planning, who think of the past, who plan for the future, do all of this, the worst possible answer we can get is wait. Wait, chustamu. And those of us who have spent time at life's university, and those of us who have spent time inculcating a relationship with Swami, we will realize that as we become more and more mature, more and more often Swami's answer to us, to our life's problems, to our life's questions, to our life's desires is wait. Wait. You don't know. Wait for how long, Swami? For 5 minutes? For 5 weeks? For 5 months? For 5 years? For 5 lifetimes? How long do you want me to wait? I have no definite end here in sight. It's so difficult to wait. That is what Rishi Matanga, sage Matanga Muni told his Shishya. Who? Shabari. You wait, the Lord will come. How long? When? And we know how Shabari waited. So it is very, very difficult and challenging when God tells us to wait. But it is inevitable, because that is the progression of our devotion, that is the progression of our spiritual maturity. God says yes and gives us what we want. He tells us no and gives something better. But he tells us to wait to give us the best. And that has been my life experience, and I'm sure many of you have experienced the same. And I want to share some really personal and beautiful experiences related to this aspect, where God tells us to wait. And my hope is that listening to these, not just all of you, me, because I am the first listener, my ears are closest to my mouth, will get inspired, that in those times when it feels difficult to hold on, those times when it feels like dark clouds are filling our skies, those times when it feels that life is unfair and no one seems to care, we will be able to hold on, because when God is making us hold on, He's making us wait, and He's making us wait because He wants to give us the best. So let me start right from the beginning. My introduction to Swami itself happened through a wait. In 1960s, my father already got to know Swami. He experienced Swami. He had some amazing miracles that he witnessed. Swami materialized a silver ring for him. Swami performed his thread ceremony. Oh, I have made multiple videos on this theme itself. But many were the miracles that he experienced, and he accepted Swami as his God. So naturally, as I am born, I should know Swami, right? I should have been introduced to Swami. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen for many years, almost for 8 years. Swami was just a photograph in the altar at home. And I used to wonder, who is this guy? Who is this person? Because gods means for us, either they are idols or they are paintings. You can't have a photograph of a god, right? Because which god can be photographed? Today I know that Swami is very unique. The only god possibly who has been photographed so much, and we are grateful to him for that. For these beautiful pictures that are available for us so that we can continue to see him even with our physical eyes. But back then I used to wonder, what is this? How is this photograph? Huh? Who is this? That was when in 1990 I got introduced to Swami as God. I was still 8 years old, and that is why I just accepted. I didn't question. How can he be God? No, these questions didn't arise. I had accepted Shiva as God. Shiva, who is barely dressed, has snakes all around him and keeps dancing in some snowy mountains. I had no problems accepting him as God. I had no problems accepting Krishna as God, a cowherd boy who is with cows all the time. I had no problems accepting Ganesha as God, person with a pot belly and an elephant head. I had no problems accepting Hanuman as God, a monkey. Why will I have a problem accepting Swami as God? That's it. Many times people ask, how can Swami be God? Just look at the gods that we have. If all can be God, why can't Swami be God? I mean, logically I'm saying. But then I understood why it took 8 years for me to get introduced to God. Because that was the time when my mind was developing and I could experiment on my own. I could understand the experiences that I had. One of the first experiences I had was Swami coming in my dream and holding my wrist so tight that it began to ache. That I woke up and I felt that, hey, it had really happened. And I thought, what kind of a God is this? I had just accepted him as God. I was just wondering why he came and did this in my dream. I told my mother said, oh, very nice, you had Swami's dream. I said, it wasn't a pleasant dream. I was hurt in that dream. But as I said, Swami was already my God, and I had set up an altar for him above the curtains of the window at my home. In India, we put something like a pelmet, a wooden covering, which covers the rod on which the curtains are hung. So that wooden pelmet, which is above the curtain, on top of that there is a little space. That's where I had created my altar. I had kept Swami's photograph. I would light an agarbatti. But since it is above, to reach it, I had to climb onto a chair, then to the table, and from there onto a stool. I had to climb like that and then do my puja. I would do every morning, keep a few flowers, light one agarbatti, because Swami is my God. That day morning when I went to do that, when I was doing this without me noticing, my sister, to clean up a fan or something, she took the chair and went away. And without knowing, just out of habit, I just stepped down into nothingness. It is only in Tom and Jerry cartoons you see them being suspended in air. It didn't happen like that. I came down, crashing, and fell badly on the same wrist that Swami had held. And dear brothers and sisters, when I went to the doctor said that you have just escaped a fracture. That really stunned me. My mother said, see, Swami came in a dream and held. And I was mesmerized at the power that Swami had. And I could actually, process all this in my head. Though I was just 8 or 9 years old, I was like, oh God, Swami is there in Puttaparthi. I am here in Bombay. I was in Bombay at that time. I am so far, I didn't even call out. It's not like I asked him to come and save me. And yet, he came and protected me. He saved me from this. Oh, wow, wonderful. But then, why did I have to even fall? If he is so powerful, why couldn't he prevent me from falling? This was the other question that came. He, of course, saved my wrist from breaking, but he could have as well prevented me from falling, right? Why he didn't do that? In spirituality, it's not important that we get all the answers. It's important that we get all the questions, that's all. It is an individual journey, and though the questions can be common, the answers are very varied because we come from different backgrounds. And when I say background, it's not just family, it's not just friends and our intellectual capacity of this birth. We have been leading this life across births, across lifetimes, and therefore it differs. And Therefore, questions are common, answers are not same. That's why in spirituality, it's no use asking others, what is this answer, what is this answer. They will answer from their perspective and their life experience. We need to experience those answers. And I feel because of the delay that I had in knowing Swami as God, that 8-year delay, my mind had developed enough to ask my own questions. And I'm grateful to Swami for that delay. I know that is the best thing that could have happened to me. I'll fast forward now because as that was the time, when I got introduced to Swami, we were in Bangalore. We had a few darshans because that was the summer and Swami was in Vrindavan. Every Thursday, Sunday, we would go, 4 of us on a two-wheeler, have Swami's darshan, come back home. That's how my attachment to Swami grew, my love for Swami grew. And he became my God, as I said. When we shifted to Bombay, it continued. And there it became a priority that I have to join Bal Vikas. I have to be in touch with Swami. For the first time in my life, I joined a Samiti. That was in 1992 in Bombay, in Borivali. And I began attending bhajans, Bal Vikas. I learnt bhajans. I used to play the talam for the bhajans. Had a beautiful time. All this started happening. And then came the desire that, hey, I want to be a student. Because I saw the children around me getting admission into Swami's school and colleges. And I also had this desire, I want to get into Swami's school. At that time, I was in grade 6. When we went and applied in primary school, when we tried, that it's only in first grade they take and in 11th grade they take after that. And then you have to join the university. My sister was accepted in 5th grade. She was taken in. But I wasn't given admission in 7th grade. And, I was really shocked. I was like, oh my God. I felt that I was more devoted among me and my sister. This is the way the mind thinks. And I was thinking that I was the one who got this idea, I want to be a student. My sister just followed because she follows whatever I do. And she got in and I have been rejected. I just couldn't swallow that. I had already told all my friends in Bombay, I told them, bye, I won't be seeing you anymore because I'm going and joining. And they were all wondering, who is this, which school you're going to, who is this Puttaparthi Baba? I said, no, you don't know all this, it's great and I'm a devotee and I will get there and all that. Now, with what face can I come back to Bombay and join? So I told my parents, I'm not going to come back to Bombay, I can't come, I can't face my friends. Then, I don't know, I want to join Swami school, I couldn't get, so that is the reason why I ended up in Sri Sathya Sai Vidyapith at Sri Shailam. Not the Andhra Sri Shailam. In Kerala, there is a hillock which has been named Sri Shailam by Rabindranath Tagore. It comes in Kozhikode or Calicut in a place called Koilandi. There is a school, Sri Sathya Sai Vidyapith. It exists to this day. And I took admission into that school because I wanted to get into some Swami school. And I was told that if you're coming from another Swami school, you will have a better chance of getting into 11th grade in Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School at Puttaparthi. And that's the reason I ended up in Kerala now. Now when I look back, see, in retrospect, everything makes perfect sense. It was Sri Shailam that hardened me into an independent being able to wash my own clothes, live without parents, battle homesickness. It was very, very difficult. It was so tough there, the life, that I would cry many times. But then I would say, Swami, I feel like running back home, but I don't want to because this is going to help me get into your school. When I look back today, I feel it was those 4 years, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th at Sri Sathya Sai Vidyapith Sri Shailam, that I developed these qualities of being patient, bearing, forbearance, facing difficulties, finding some way, some solution in any difficult situation. All of these, these are things that come only when we face them. It's like when you dive into the pool alone can we learn swimming. Otherwise, we can't. How much ever theory we study, finally we have to jump into the pool. So too it is. Many of us have children and as parents, I also feel that I want to shield my child from all the difficulties. What I faced, I don't want them to face. But I have also come to realize now that shielding all the time doesn't help, because whatever I am today is because of the difficulties I faced. So yes, you want them to face, you don't want them to break, but at the same time, if you want them to be made, they have to face their own challenges. And that is the reason Swami, the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, who we say that his love for us is that of 1,000 mothers, of 1,000 fathers, of the Satguru. He will naturally allow us those situations because he wants to make us, not to break us. No, he will ensure that we are not broken. He will never give a 10th grade exam paper for a 5th grade student. He will never do that. But a 5th grade student has to face the 5th grade exam and we'll have to wait for the results. This waiting is such a beautiful thing. God makes us wait. Delays. His delays are not his denials. He makes us wait. In fact, there was an experiment performed. It's famously called the marshmallow experiment. These marshmallows, I did not know till a few years back. It is a Western concept, Western sweet that children love apparently and they get addicted to it as well. So there was an experiment done where children are given marshmallows and they are told, see, once we step out of the door here, it's your choice. You want, you can eat the marshmallow. But for 15 minutes till we come back, if you don't eat that marshmallow, once we come back, we'll give you a second marshmallow. That's a benefit for you. And then they did this experiment over so many children, and these children, with consent of course, were observed for almost 2 decades. The findings are amazing. You know, those children, there were some children who, the instant the person stepped out of the room, they just take the marshmallow and pop it in their mouth. Then there were some other children who just waited and waited. And there were children in between. You know, there even some videos I have seen of this. There's a child who picks up and smells the marshmallow, you know, enjoys it, but can't eat it, you know, because I know if I wait it out for 15 minutes, I'm going to get a second marshmallow. So wait. Then there are some kids who will pick it and just, you know, take one lick. By taking the lick anyway, the marshmallow is not getting over, but you're enjoying it also a little bit. Some take a bite, you know, various, as I said, the whole spectrum is there. It's so beautiful. But what is the amazing result is, they found that those kids who had the ability to delay their gratification, which is postpone the enjoyment for 15 minutes so that you can get the second marshmallow. Not only did they get the second marshmallow, they got greater success in life as well. That is why Swami would say, na sukhat labhyate sukham. With happiness, you won't get happiness. By delaying the gratification, you master the ability to get gratified. That is why Swami tells us to wait. I had to wait. I waited those 4 years in Srisailam, and let me open up my heart and share some of the things. Very, very difficult life, not because of the physical hardships, but because of the fact that at that point in time, I am speaking of 1994, 1995, which is 30 years ago from 2024. Most of the students there in Srisailam had come there for the free education. They were not devotees. In fact, many of them didn't even have regard for Sathya Sai Baba. That was also the time when a lot of people used to throw challenges. There was PC Sarkar, there were so many other, you know, ignorant people, jokers in my opinion. Anyway, they would challenge, and because of that, these students also get influenced because of the marketing, and they would come and talk nonsense about Swami, and I would feel very, very hurt. I would feel very hurt. And not knowing what to do, you know, when they talk ill about Swami, I get pained. I want to hurt them back. I want to avenge myself. But what to do? So I would speak ill of their parents. I would curse their parents. And they would get very angry. They'll tell, don't talk about parents. I'll tell, don't talk about Swami. And they'll say, what? We are talking about some third party. I say, he's not third party. He's like my parent. He's like my father. Mother, you know, I would stand and defend Swami so ferociously. I got into fist fights. I had bleeding noses. I threw punches, but I received more than I threw. But then that's where I developed argumentation, fighting. I just felt I have to stand up for Swami. Though I would appear very strong in the day, at night I would feel so sad. I would go to the main altar in the bhajan hall. It was an open bhajan hall that time. Windows and doors all open, no frames, nothing. It would be open, and whole night the light in Swami's altar will be on. Big stage. I would go sit on the stage and weep and cry and tell Swami, what did you do to me, Swami? Why did you send me to this school? This school has only your name. You know, many times we get confused. Just because we see the name Sathya Sai, we think, oh, Swami. Sathya Sai is not about a name. It's not about a thing like that. Sathya Sai is the feeling, is the feeling that you get. I have met people who possibly carry this name but not the feeling, and again I have met people who carry this feeling without even being aware who Sathya Sai is. Sathya Sai, it's wrong to restrict Sathya Sai to a name and form, and that I think is possibly the message of the Mahasamadhi. Don't restrict me to the name and form. But that's a topic for some other day. Let me come back here. I used to cry and tell Swami, what is this school, Swami? Only name it is Sathya Sai. Nobody has love for you. Forget love for you. They criticize you, Swami. Only a few teachers through whom I drew some succor and strength. Swami, please save me from here. Take me to your school in Puttaparthi. Take me to your school in Puttaparthi. This was my prayer. And I got a chance. I got a chance in 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade, for the Onam celebrations every year, students from Sri Sathya Sai Vidyapeeth Srisailam would come to Kerala, and one year the boys would get a chance to put up some programs in front of Swami. One year the girls would get a chance. So when I was in 7th grade, the girls had put up a program. So when I was in 8th grade, it was the turn of the boys, and some boys were selected for the drama, and I was selected to give a small speech before Bhagwan's discourse on Onam. So it was a speech in Hindi because I had won the Hindi elocution competition. I wasn't a speaker. I didn't know oratory, nothing. But I was very good at learning things by heart, memorizing. And I had memorized an entire Hindi speech. Even to this day, I struggle to give speeches in Hindi. But back then, flawless Hindi, I would speak and give a speech. And I had won the first prize in the elocution competition, and therefore I was chosen to give a speech in front of Swami, and that was also in Hindi. Can you believe it? Hindi, because they thought I speak Hindi very well. But again, my Hindi teacher wrote down the speech for me and I had memorized it. You could wake me in the middle of the night and I would give a speech. And I thought that this would be my redemption. When Swami calls me to give a talk, I will go and pray to him and tell Swami, please give admission in your school, and I would get rid of the school forever. And I told all my friends also, whatever you want, I am going to ask Swami, my Swami will give me goodbye, I won't be here anymore. Good riddance to this place. This is how I would confidently tell everyone. Then Onam came, and I had travelled to Puttaparthi even before the students came. So when Swami, I was sitting in the darshan lines when Swami came for darshan, I was so happy. I was reading one book called The Babe of Vrindavan, Stories of Krishna. And along with that, I had my speech paper as well. So when Swami came near, I suddenly got this thought, hey, let me show Swami my speech. I said, Swami, my speech, and I gave. Swami took the book and speech, accepted it and started walking on. I wondered what had happened. After walking about 5 steps, Swami stopped, turned around, smiled, came back and handed the book back to me. But he took my speech copy and he went off. I was like, oh God. That time, there was no printout, there is nothing like that. But as I said, I had memorized the whole thing so well. So I thought, no problem. Let Swami take, I'll go back home to my room and I'll write down my whole speech again. Because I know totally by heart. And that's what I did. That year, Onam, when the program happened in the evening, I was seated there. I was waiting for my turn to give a talk. To my greatest horror and shock, because of some guest coming late, something happened, my talk got cancelled. I didn't get a chance to deliver the talk. I didn't get a chance to ask Swami for a seat, nothing. And I returned back, and now I was the laughing stock of my class and many others in the school as well. The big fellow, he thought he's some devotee. They used to tease like a devotee, he's a devotee. Like being a devotee, people would say, I'm not a devotee. It's like some abuse if you accept yourself as a devotee. But I used to tell, no, I am a devotee. And they tell, this fellow is a fake devotee. Look at him. So he didn't get even admission. He didn't get a chance to speak. Swami didn't even want to listen to him. That kind of a fellow he is. And this became too much for me to bear. Too much. But it was in the fires of that crucible that I think I developed into whatever, because in 9th and 10th grade, I set up a school record for number of certificates won in 1 year. I think I won about 32 certificates. Everything I participated and I excelled. Because that was the only way I could shut up those people who were talking against me. Excel in sports, excel in academics, I became the top ranker, I set up a school record, everything. I did all that, and yet I could not face this because they kept taunting me. Next year, no hope because 9th standard the girls get to perform. 10th standard came, again it was turn for the boys. Again, by Swami's grace, I got a chance to deliver a talk. This time it was in English. I was very nervous. I was very, very nervous. When we were seated there, again Onam day, deja vu, flashback I'm getting and I'm feeling such horror. But that day, Swami came, sat on the stage, looked at me, said, come and speak. Even as I think of it, I get so overwhelmed because 4 years, brothers and sisters, I have yearned like nobody's business. I prayed and craved and pined and cried and yearned, Swami I want, Swami I want, Swami I want, Swami. So much I yearned for him that finally when I got the chance to go and actually deliver a talk, I went and took Swami's Pad Namaskar. This is the moment I had been waiting for because I want to ask him for an admission in a school, right? Instead of that, I saw him from so close and I said, Swami, whatever happens, please keep me with you always. And Swami patted me on my back and said, always, always, always. I went and delivered the speech. It was, as I said, I had memorized it, went on very well. It got complete. And I sat back in my place and I suddenly realized, you fool Arvind, you didn't ask Swami for admission in the school. This is what you wanted. This is what you've been waiting for 4 years. I felt disappointed. I went crying to my mother and said, Mom, I did a mistake. I did a horrible mistake. I asked for this. My mom began to shed tears and I said, yes, Mom, see, I did a stupid thing. She said, no, I'm shedding tears because I'm happy. How can you be happy? Because Arvind, you asked for the perfect thing. Good you didn't ask for admission in the school. Good you asked, Swami, keep me with you always. That is more important. That is why I think Swami made you wait, she told. And now when I look back, those 4 years made me realize that whether I get into Swami school or not, whether I am in Puttaparthi or not, Swami, I want to be with you, Swami. I want you, I want you, I want you. I feel that yearning. Today I am grateful to Swami for those 4 years that he kept me away because I feel the yearning that grew made it so magical. But what about my admission? Dear brothers and sisters, once the message is received, the messenger goes away. 2 days later, Swami gave Pad Namaskar to all of us from the school. And as he is walking, he automatically, on his own stops near me and says, hey, you are the boy who spoke yesterday? I said, not yesterday. I mean, yeah, he said yesterday, but it was a couple of days back. I said, yes, Swami. So, very good, Swami said. Then he walked ahead. I felt so happy. He had placed his hand on my head. I felt so blissed out. Walking ahead, Swami suddenly stops, turn around and asks me again, which class? I said, Swami, 10th standard. What you'll do after 12th? Swami asked. After 12th, I have to join 11th, right? I said, Swami, I don't know. At that time in my head, it was medical or engineering. This is the only 2 options that were there in my head. I said, Swami, I like medical. Swami said, take biosciences, join my school. And that was how I applied and came next year. And once Swami gives his word, that's his word. I joined in 11th and I stayed on. I didn't leave after 12th, because again Swami came in my dream and said, don't leave, continue, be here. You can do so many things in life, but be with me, Swami said. And that's how I joined just as Swami said bioscience, I joined BSc Bioscience. I went on to do MSc Chemistry. I did MBA there. Then I stayed. I was at Radio Sai for 14 years. Wow, very, very fulfilling, so most beautiful. I waited and waited, and that wait, I believe, gave me the best. I know I hurried through, and I would like to conclude with one more beautiful episode of this magic of waiting. I hurried through and told about MBA, but one more critical juncture came in my 12th grade. Let me share this beautiful experience also, and this is an experience in multiple dimensions. So, after 12th grade, you transition to the university, and therefore it's a important transition. And many of the students would like to pursue professional degrees, engineering, medical, and all this. Now, Swami was in Vrindavan and we were about to face our board examinations. So at that time, what Sailesh sir, he was our class teacher. He called all of us and he said, see, listen, we'll all go to Vrindavan and have one Swami's darshan. This is the last darshan possibly as 12th grade students. Next year, you don't know whether you'll join Swami's college or not, whatever. So let's go. So we were all very excited. He said, but before that, I want to share something with you. He gave a Parayanam. He spoke to us for an hour almost. The underlying message of what he spoke was, see, whether we are with Swami or not is not in our hands. Swami has already decided it. If we are supposed to stay here, however hard we try, we can't get away. If we are not supposed to stay here, however hard we try, we can't stay here. See, what we are going to do, that God has decided, that Swami has decided, is in His hands. But what we want to do, what we desire to do, is in our heart. Let us always desire to stay with Swami. Please, whatever might be the plans, let your plan number 1 be, I want to be with you, Swami. How and when and where, all that Swami will decide. But Swami, I want to be with you. That is all his promise. And his speech was so inspiring. That is why it is so important that we even attend satsangs like this, because even if it's a temporary charging, it's like taking a bath, When I take a bath, end of the day, again I'm dirty. But that doesn't mean, why should I take a bath anyway, at the end of the day I'm dirty? No. Because I keep getting dirty daily, I take bath daily. So also, because the inspiration from a satsang or from a talk lasts for only 1 week, every week I listen. If it lasts only 5 days, I will listen every 5 days. Just like if I get dirty extra, I take 2 baths in a day. Like that. Satsang should be like that. That's a spiritual bath that cleanses us of all the negative tendencies and fills us with love for Swami. So that was so inspiring that I remember when we went to Vrindavan, Swami actually granted us an interview inside Trai Vrindavan. All of us 12th standard boys, we went in and we were seated around the Jhula. Swami came and sat. Before he could sit, first question he asked, how many engineers? Swami asked. And I knew that there were at least 5-10 boys who wanted to do engineering, but not a single student raised hands. I was wondering what happened. That was the impact of Sailesa's talk. Then Swami asked, how many doctors? Again nobody is raising hands. Then Swami said, hey, anta gas. Means all of you are lying. Then in one voice, unanimously, spontaneously, I get goosebumps even as I think of it. We all said, Swami, we want to be with you, Swami. And at that moment, the joy, the pride, the thrill in Swami's eyes, magical, beautiful. Well, all of us didn't stay, of course. As I said, where we end up, it's all left to Swami's will. But our desire to be with him made him so happy. He immediately called the warden and he said, no, all these boys want to stay with Swami and they will stay with Swami forever. Wow. What a blessing. What a blessing. And then Swami began to speak and the warden started to translate. Swami said, no, you are not needed. You can go. And Swami, I think as a reward for the inspiration that he had given, Swami told Sailesar, you translate Telugu to English, and Sailesar did a perfect job. It showed to me and to all of us that once the Lord decides anybody is an instrument, He doesn't call the qualified people. He qualifies whomever He calls. He can make a monkey jump across the ocean, become a messenger and set fire to Lanka. So we need not worry about qualifications. The only qualification is to have yearning for Swami, love for Him. Swami, I want you. Swami, I want you. Swami, I want you. I need you. Swami, only you. That's all. That is there enough. Everything He'll take care. And so Sailesar translated that beautiful discourse. I won't go into the details now. Again, there is that video also of the whole discourse I have uploaded onto YouTube. Swami gave the message of 2 things in life that we must always remember, 2 things that we must forget. Summary is, the 2 things that we should forget is good we have done to others, bad others have done to us. These 2 things we should forget. And what are the 2 things we should always remember? God and death. Never forget God, never forget death. Remember, you're going to die one day, when you don't know. And remember, God is the only permanent. So this was the subject of Swami's discourse. During the discourse, something very interesting happened. So when Swami was, swinging on the Jhula, one of my classmates was sitting in the first line. His name is E. Vijay Kumar. He's currently in Australia now, Brisbane. And he noticed that there were some coconut shavings in Swami's hair. It had somehow fallen there. So he said, Swami, mi jutlo emo undi. Meaning, Swami, something is there in your hair. Swami said, Auna? Ti? Swami said, meaning, is that so? Remove it. And so sweetly he bent his head. This boy plunged his hand into that fragrant, fluffy mass, beautiful hair of Swami and pulled out that coconut shaving and he took it. Now, I was sitting in the second line. When I saw this, I said, oh Swami, how I wish I also get this chance. There's, oh God, and I was trying to see if there's one more coconut shaving somewhere in Swami's hair, so that I get the chance to pick that. But it wasn't there. And anyway, that Trai session ended. Swami granted group photos to us. It was beautiful. Everything concluded. Now, we went back to Puttaparthi. We had our exams. We completed it. After that, so many of us applied for Bachelor's BSc and BCom in Swami's University. A few, of course, as I said, left for engineering and medical and other professional degrees. But out of everyone who had applied, about a dozen of us didn't clear the entrance exams and didn't get seats. The rest of us got. And that year we had to report early because 2000, the year 2000, there was a summer course in Indian culture and spirituality. So in the month of May itself, we had to report, and all of us were reporting, and this 12 boys, they didn't know what to do. They have not got admission and they were distraught. So they all went to Sathya sir, asking sir what we must do. Sathya sir, sat, he was lost in thought for a while. Then he said, see, in normal cases, I would have told you, do whatever your heart feels like. But now I want to tell you that Swami explicitly said, these boys want to stay with me and they will stay with me. So hold on to that. God's delays are not his denials. That magic phrase was thrown at them. Out of the dozen boys, half a dozen, 6 of them, they lost heart. They said, if we don't go back and attempt admission in other colleges, we be too late to get admitted there also. So we will go and pursue our education. And they left. Somehow 6 boys held on to this phrase, God's delays are not his denials. And they held on. And every day it was so tough, they are no longer having their privileged seatings. They're all ex-students. Yeah. So they have to sit away, they can't come, and summer course is going on. So many students from across campuses have come here. Swami is delivering discourses daily. So no time also for interaction, and they are day by day, their opportunity to get enrolled in some other education institution is also getting lost, getting delayed. They don't know what to do. They were waiting and one day during darshan, every day, before this one day during darshan, let me state that every day when we would meet them, they are not even staying in the hostel with us because they are ex-students, they are alumni, they are out, privilege seating gone, all privileges taken away. Doesn't matter. Let the privileges be taken away. Let anything go as long as that love and yearning for Swami. That is what made them actually stay on, hold on. Every day they would go to Sathya sir, and I don't know what Sathya sir also would advise them, but he kept them motivated. They were also motivated. They said, come what may, we will wait. We'll see what happens. Then this magical day during darshan, Swami is walking, suddenly looks and tells, hey, who are you all? Swami asks. Ex-students. Swami said, all chinna pillalu. You are all such small boys. What do you mean ex-student? You are not graduated. You are small boys. Swami, we didn't get admission. Swami, we didn't get admission. Swami, we didn't. So it's not, what? Swami, we didn't get admission. Swami, we didn't get. They just poured out their heart. Swami, we didn't get. Swami, we didn't get. During that darshan itself, then and there, Swami stood, turned around and said, Vice Chancellor. S.V. Giri sir came running, wondering what happened. Swami said, what? These students didn't get admission, it seems. Then I think he told Swami that they had not cleared the written exam or something. Swami said, no. If they clear interview, it is done. You should interview them, and if they are found good, you should take them, Swami said. And therefore, special interviews were conducted for these boys. Each and every one of them, dear brothers and sisters, got into Swami's college. We used to call them the Chancellor Quota boys. Chancellor's Quota. They just got in. I still remember one of them, Sai Chandra Bhanu. He's in the United States in New Jersey now. He continued. He did masters. He did an MPhil. He stayed on there. 9 years after that he stayed on. Amazing. Phenomenal. With such gratitude and joy. Gems. All of these boys turned out to be like gems in their contributions to the hostel, to the college, to everything. Amazing. Each of them I can tell one story each. I don't have time for that now, but So beautiful. Delays are not denials. Delays are reasons that God makes you wait for some purpose. We may not understand that purpose, but we should know that there is a purpose and God loves us. That's all. There's one beautiful story that I had heard of God going in the dream of a person and asking, can you do something for me? And this person says, anything for you, God. God tells, morning when you wake up outside your door, there'll be a rock. Just, can you push that rock? He says, okay, don't worry, God, I'll do it. He gets up, it's a real huge boulder there. And he pushes and pushes and pushes every day, just as God had advised. Nothing happens. The rock doesn't move 1 inch. Nothing, no progress. He wonders, what on earth am I doing? He does this for months on the end. At the end of which, the story goes that the devil comes to him and the devil says, what a stupid thing you're doing, going on pushing. This is never going to move. That rock is not going to move. I also know the rock is not going to move, but God told me to push it. Just don't push it. No, just sit and relax. Why you want to come and push? Relax, enjoy, take it easy. Yeah. But this man had the wisdom to just check with God once. So he goes to God and says, God, what is this you're doing? What did I do? You're telling me to push that rock. Yeah. But what is the use? God, it's not moving only. Then God tells him, dear one, who told you I wanted to move it? If I want to move it, I can move it. Look. And God just moves it. When I want to move it, I can move it. I didn't want you to move it. I wanted you to push it. For what? Why that rock doesn't move an inch? Why do you want me to push? I wanted you to push it not for the rock. For you, I wanted you to push it. Look at your biceps. Wow. Look at your triceps. Look at your calf muscles. Look at your stomach muscles. How tight, how wonderful. You are now sculpted. You are now powerful. You are now strong. Now the job is done. You need not push the rock anymore. I wanted you to push the rock, not to move the rock, but to build you. So also when God tells us to wait, it is not for any other reason. It's not because it's His master plan for Him it's an advantage. No. It is to build us that He makes us wait. I'll conclude with something that happened in 2003 finally. I told you, right, that during that interview that Swami had granted us that coconut shaving. 2003 Swami had a fall, because of which Swami would use the golf cart to come and go for darshan. And an opportunity was created where when Swami is getting down from the golf cart to go into his residence, one student would get the chance to put a footstool onto which Swami will get down. This is a chance for close darshan, and sometimes Swami would even hold the hand of that boy. When it was my opportunity, dear brothers and sisters, to put the stool, when I went and put the stool, as Swami was getting down from the car, I suddenly saw that in his hair there was a mango flower. And I said, instantly, my mind went back to that day when I had seen Vijay pull out the coconut shaving from Swami's hair. I told the same words that Vijay had said. I said, Swami, mi jutlo emo undi. Meaning, Swami, in your hair there is something. And the magical Lord, the beautiful Lord, responded in exactly the same manner. Auna ti. He said, is that so? Remove it. And he bent down. And I now got the first ever opportunity in my life to plunge my hand into his fragrant, fluffy hair. Pull out that mango flower, which I still cherish. It has dried up, but it still oozes love and divinity for me. I pulled it out. And as an icing on the cake, a cherry on the icing of the cake, that was the day Swami had gifted Mr. Rajiv Chaudhary, another student who had the opportunity of staying with Swami inside Trai Vrindavan. He had gifted him a new camera, and that was the day he wanted to inaugurate and test. And the first few photos he clicked were of me taking out this mango flower from Swami's hair. Swami not only gave me the opportunity to do it, he got it preserved for my memory, which I keep seeing in my album and feeling a joy. God's delays are not His denials. When God tells us yes, He gives us what we want. When He tells us no, He gives us something better. When He tells us to wait, He gives us the best. So if you happen to be a waiting boy, a waiting girl, waiting for Swami to respond, wait with peace and joy in your heart, knowing the best is coming. Wait in the manner Shabari waited, knowing that my Lord is going to come, and when He comes, He's going to grant me the highest. And finally, that is what when we read in Ram Katar Vasavahini, we realize that Rama gave her the highest. Dear Swami, whether you say yes or you say no or you say wait, let us have the peace and joy to celebrate it as your love for us. And may the love that we have in our hearts towards you keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.